Right, welcome to this advanced Tactica for Blood Angels. In this episode, it will be a model showcase and Tactica video for the Sanguinary Guard, one of the brightest, most elaborate infantry units that the Blood Angels have. Very iconic to them, a big fan of the unit. Doubts have been cast over them, they sort of haven't performed too well. And some people have said, well, you should remove them, they're costly in points. I've actually gone in the opposite direction. I'm going to keep them, I'm going to show you the models as well. Been doing some work on them, also some improvements. So what we'll do is take a look at the models and then discuss upgrades and combinations, and then we'll do some tactics and show you some examples of how I plan to use them. I think they're a unit that haven't been able to do too well, but with some help and some benefits and bonuses, they should do a lot better with this new Blood Angels list that I'm putting together. So there's a unit of 5, and you may be able to tell I've rebased them on the 32mm bases here. So I've been meaning to do it for a long time. They're beautiful models and they just look so much better on these bases. I'm going to zoom in here so you can take a closer look. So by all means use this video as your painting reference. There they are. So I cut away, imagine this is the smaller base. With clippers I just cut away the edge, and being careful not to break away the sands. The sand stayed on, and I just simply, it was then flat, and then simply stuck it on top of the new base, and then built up sand and PVA glue around the edge to merge the basing together. And you can hardly tell there's actually the old basing merged with the new just on the edge. So there he is. It's one of my favourite poses, that one. Some people don't like them, but I love the golden armour. I think they look amazing. I love the wings. Again, some people don't like the wings, but I think they're very iconic and angelic. You know, it's exactly fitting with the Blood Angels golden armour. There they are. So very nice one indeed. There's another one here, bareheaded one there. Really nice. This one's got the hairdryer, the Infernos pistol. Just there, although I don't usually take that in games at the moment. There he is, big model really. Just the way that they're on tiptoes here, it just puts them above regular Space Marines, and the sword's huge. That sword is as tall and as long as the Marine himself. So there he is. The ornate armour I think just looks fantastic, so really good. There's one with the axe. Just there. Really nice. Another one with the axe. This one used to hold the banner. I could make him the one that carries the banner in 8th edition, but I kept the arm and magnetised it so he just carries the pistol just there. Don't use the banner at the moment, he just comes in like that. So he can just become a regular Sanguinary Guard, and he's got the axe. Just there. And then here, another one with a sword. Nice pose. Right, so one improvement I've talked about is the basing. The other improvement is I bought another set of them. But I always wanted to do more. I always wanted to do a unit of 8. That's what I've gone for. So there's 3 more brand new models just straight from the painting desk to show you. People always said the masks look terrible. Then I saw them painted up by James Otero from Siege Studios, his Blood Angels. I really like the masks. So for these, I've gone for masks on these ones. There's this one here. Really excited about these. It's just fresh from the painting desk. Gone for a different pose with this one. Wanted them to look different. So there he is. It was hard because I painted these here about we think now a number of years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago. So yeah, there's some time difference to match up the gold, but I think they've come out pretty much the same, so I'm happy with that. They've merged quite well. So there's him. Very happy with that one. Sword for him. And this one. Sword again. Very happy with this one as well. And they look great. As a unit of 8, there's a real presence to them now. They looked a bit thin on the ground when there was 5. They didn't have much impact in combat. But now with 8 of them, I think they've just been enhanced by a fair amount. And then here, this is the last one with an axe this time. Just there on the advanced spot. So all 8 of them, entirely different poses, which we're really happy about. Just there, and I think with these death masks they look great. Real menacing look to them. Sort of expressionless masks that they have. So I really like them. So that's the 8 of them. We'll zoom out and you can see them all now. So there they are, there's all 8. I mean, there was the 5, looked a bit thin on the ground, and then now look how they've been bulked out, and especially on their larger bases as well. There's quite a presence of them on the battlefield. So that's them. I'm going to push them over to the side here as we take a look at them in the book. So they've been written off by people, a number of Blood Angels players. People don't use them, they're not so popular, people say they're very expensive. I think maybe what you can do when they're expensive is you half-heartedly get a unit they don't do very well. To get the most out of them, you have to end up paying a bit more, and then they actually end up becoming pretty good. So we'll go to Blood Angels here. Sanguinary Guard. Now they are quite expensive, it is true, but I would say they're not too bad. Just look up our points costs. Now I'm going by index here. When the codex comes out, I doubt they'll be more expensive. They may drop a few points. I don't think they will, but you may find that slight rules changes. If there are, it'd be very, very minor. I would imagine they're not going to change very much at all. And maybe there'll be no changes whatsoever. So we'll just refer to the index for now at this point in time. Blood Angels. So, Sanguinary Guard, they're 22 points each. Their movement 12, so nice and quick. Weapon skill 3 plus, ballistic skill 3 plus, strength and toughness 4. They used to be 1 wound each, they're now 2 wounds. So, unit of 8 there, there's actually 16 wounds to the opponent to try and get through. They come with 2 attacks each, which is decent enough for infantry. Leadership 8, and they have a 2+ save. So you've got 16 wounds to try and get through at 2+. You know, regular las guns and bolters and so on are going to really struggle to try and bring all of them down. That's almost like 2 units of Terminators there, back in 7th edition. So they're deadly enough, hard enough to deal with. There's 4 of them. This unit contains 4 Sanguinary Guard. It can contain up to 6. So you can go up to 10 if you want to. I thought 10 maybe is a bit too overkill. That's, you know, a lot of points. 8 just makes them big, but still saving in points. They're armed with Angelus bolt guns, Encarmine swords, frag, and crack grenades. So 22 points, which sounds okay, but then one of the points problems was the Angelus bolt gun. It's 9 points for something that's not that deadly, really. So it was a bit of a shame that there's so much points for that. If anything they change it, they may drop that down to 5 points or something like that. Then the Encarmine sword, again, it is really expensive. 13 points each. That's a dreadful amount of points, it really is. And then the axe is 16 points as well. I've gone for a few axes in there. So the Angelus bolt gun, it's range 12, so it's half the range of regular bolter. It is assault 2. It's strength 4 and it's AP -1. I think it is very expensive for what you're getting. It is terribly expensive, it really is. But then now unit 16, yeah, unit 5 was 10 shots, unit 16, 16 shots, so that helps. That when they land they can do some kind of damage. The Encarmine sword then is strength of the users. It's strength 4. It's AP -3. It's like a power sword, but it does D3 points of damage. That's where you're paying your extra points for it. You're basically paying about an extra 8 odd points, 7 or 8 points to get that D3 damage result. You can go for the axe. You pay 3 points more. You get +1 strength, but your AP drops to -2. So what I thought would have been equal, you have to pay more points for. So again, bit of a points mix up with them. They may be improved. Games Workshop may address that and try and reduce them down, make them more reasonable. But maybe you're paying the points because it's a unit that's got 2 attacks, not 1. It's a mobile unit. It's got a 2+ save. So there's a lot of benefits associated with these. The weapons that they carry, they're being armed on decent models. So it might be the reason. They may take death masks. So the death mask here, it's -1 modified to the leadership whilst within 3 inches, so in combat and so on, you're wearing a death mask. Just to get you an idea, death mask is 2 points each, so 16 points. I think it's a waste of time, so even though I've modelled some with the death masks, I wouldn't take that upgrade. It's a lot of points for not much at all, and it's a rule you're easily going to forget as well during the middle of a game. Any model may replace Angelus Boltgun with an Inferno pistol or a plasma pistol. So, yeah, I've just had a brainwave here. Yeah, I've had a real brainwave. Boy, boy, boy. Right. The Angelus Boltgun's 9 points. A plasma pistol. Let's just look this up here. I've got a feeling that the plasma pistol is cheap. Plasma pistol, 7 points. Yeah, it's very hard to do because of the limitation of the actual sculpting of the models. But I would have given them plasma pistols. Games Workshop, they must sort that out. 9 points for an Angelus Boltgun, which is not that amazing, and then for cheaper you can take a plasma pistol, which is range 12, same range, pistol 1, so you can fire in combat. No, it's strength 7, AP -3 and 1 point of damage. You can, if you want to, you can go for supercharge, and then strength 8, AP -3 and 2 points of damage. So I would, the way the current, the current points are, I would give them all plasma pistols. No problem at all. Whether I can get away with that, doing that in a game, people might complain. Because I couldn't. It would break my heart to try and put plasma pistols and all of those. Yeah, plasma pistols all the way. You could land an ambush, you know, because you can drop down here. Jump pack assault, you have to be more than 9 inches away, so you can easily land nicely within range of a target of, say, Terminators or Space Marines or a monstrous creature or a character, and you could really do them some hurt with those plasma pistols. And then when you get in combat, which you're looking to do, on your turn in your shooting phase, you get to fire whilst you're in the combat. So plasma pistol, absolute bargain. Angelus Boltguns, I'd be utterly surprised if they don't change that cost. Then for combat, then we've covered those. So I would definitely go with the plasma for now, a plasma. But then when the codex comes out, check it and see what the options are then. Any model may replace using Carmine Sword with Carmine Axe or a Power Fist. The Power Fist will cost, again, I'll have to go to Space Marines. Melee, Power Fist, 20. Probably won't bother with that. Maybe handy against vehicles and so on. A bit more handy against vehicles. But I would stick with the swords and the axes. And the other idea is using these against vehicles, right? If you charge them in, you've got a toughness 7 vehicle, that's the average toughness. You then charge in, you have 5s to wound. You then have the axe, which you pay extra points for. You get +1 strength if you're at strength 5. Still need 5s to wound the vehicle. So, I would... The best bargain with these is plasma pistols and swords. And you'll still be able to go after most targets. Elite infantry, monstrous creatures and vehicles. The plasma pistols and the swords can damage and destroy both. So that's the best option available, I think. So they're decent enough. They're pricey enough in points, but I think you've got the two ups. So the invuln saves are a worry, but with the AP now just being minuses, the 2-up's quite hard to knock all the way down to nothing. You know, you need something pretty good to do that. So you are going to get some kind of save. You know, if they come with 5+ invuln and you got hit with an AP -2 weapon, there's no point. You're going to get 5+ to save them anyway. So there's some rules. Nation of No Fear. Then Heirs of Ascalon. You can re-roll failed hit rolls for this for models from this unit if they're within 6 inches of Blood Angel's Warlord. That's where the Sanguinary comes in. I'll do a separate video for him. So the Sanguinary as an HQ option for him, and then the Deathmaster we've covered, and the jump pack just there. That Heirs of Ascalon is quite an important one. So check out the video for the Sanguinary for them. He's the perfect HQ and Warlord to go with those. What we'll do now is we'll step back and we'll roll these up here and do a few potential scenarios with them. So we'll check them out against the Rhino. And remember, this is just the standard as they come. Remember, you can go for the Sanguinary and then see the improvements in that video. So they charge in, great flexibility with these. Deep striking, charging across the battlefield nice and quick. We'll say they make it into combat here against this Rhino just here. Unit of 5 would have struggled. A bigger unit like this does stand more of a challenge. Alright, so they've made it in. So I have 3 axes now, that's 6 attacks. And then I have 10 attacks with the swords in total. We'll do the Angelus bolt guns actually to be realistic. So we'll do 16 shots with them. In threes. There's a good round. 5s. Yeah, not bad. There's a bit more weight to the £5 now with them. Some saves to make here. 3 failed, so wounds coming through on there. We'll keep a total of the wounds there. 3 wounds come through from them. Plasma pistols. I wish plasma pistols would be good. So bear that in mind. Keep an eye on the points costs for when the codex comes out. That's the time to make the decision whether to go plasma pistol. I should cover the Infernos pistol just at this point. I will cover it just briefly. So just here, the Infernos pistol, I've been put off by the points cost. The Inferno pistol, range 6, you have to get close, but that may not be a problem for them. You won't be able to use it when you land by a deep strike either. It is pistol, again you can use it in combat. It's a melter pistol, strength 8, AP minus 4, d6 damage. If targets within half range, you roll 2d6, choose the best. It's a deadly weapon, utterly deadly. But the points cost is 20. But then you've already paid 9 for the Angelus bolt guns. You're actually just paying an extra 11 points to get a nasty one, and you could just give 3 of them the pistol, and then they can jump around and melt and destroy vehicles. So yeah, that is definitely an option to consider as well. I have 2 of them with that weapon option, so that could be an idea. An extra 22 points just to give them a bit of nasty potential. Then maybe they charge a big monster screech as a chance to knock a load of wounds down and then just finish it off with the swords and axes. So that's an idea there. So yeah, Inferno's pistol's okay. It is expensive, but it's a melter pistol. So alright, so 3s to hit here with the axes, 5s to wound, 1, and then here 3s to hit, 5s to wound. This isn't their ideal target, but it shows you they can do something there. Okay, so 5d3 wounds. So that's 4, 5, 6, add that on. They've almost destroyed that Rhino. So there's the ability for them to cause trouble for vehicles. We'll have another go. And again, this is with no upgrades here. Remember, they've got the Sanguinary that can grant them some benefits as well. A jump pack chaplain would be a good bonus for them as well, giving them the rerolls to hit. So that's the axes, 3 hits. Then swords, it's quite a poor round. 5s. Good recovery, and then a wound there. There's some saves to make actually. So 6s, save 2, and here didn't save that one. D3 and D3. Yeah, 6 wounds caused there. 6. That's that D3 damage come through. That's the dangerous part about their weapons. And plus the 3 they've already done with the Angelus bolt guns. So that's not too bad. They virtually destroyed the Rhino. Just there, caused it a lot of trouble, at least. Now, as I said earlier on, Remember, that's without the bonuses that they have. We'll change targets now. I want them to be able to charge anything. They'll need to with this new Blood Angels list. Now again, don't tell James here, but we'll line up some humble tactical Marines. They're in their dummy test yellow and black colour scheme as these charge in. I want it to be in a game where these land. Yes, I've paid the points, so I want them to land or to move out, to charge, and then to strike fear into your opponent by charging into something and just wiping it out, and to do a horrendous amount of killing, and just to, by way of example, just to strike fear into the opponent. This is the kind of unit. It's the tactics for these. You'll see it in the new army as it comes out, to try and delay these coming down as long as possible, because they're vulnerable to shooting. Let other units weaken the enemy so that he can't then turn all of his army on these when they land. He's already lost a load of units, and then have these as the ultimate mopping up unit. They land down nearby, they ambush a unit, they charge in, hopefully, weather the storm, charge another unit, and they just wipe out one unit after the next and secure victory. That's the idea. They come in like the cavalry towards the end of the battle and then save the day. And then I want it to be that when they land, the opponent thinks, oh no, the Sanguinary Guard have arrived, there's going to be trouble. So that's the idea behind it. So a delayed arrival for them. And then hopefully to, like a vulture, or to take advantage of a weakened opponent. Anyway, so 6 attacks with the axes, 10 attacks with the swords. Let's do swords here. 4s. Those are -3, so 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6s to save them with the Marines. Nope, so hack down 3 of them. And the axes. It's good. And then 3s. 4 more. So yeah, horrid. They've hacked their way through. Hang on a second. We've got some saves to make then. Didn't save any. Okay, it's 5 to save. It's only -2 with the axes. So they've gone. That's horrid what they've done there. They've cut the Marines right down and caused a lot of trouble. Overwatch is going to be nothing to worry about with 2 wounds each. You know, these Marines are totally doomed facing off against those. So that's what you want to happen. You know, nice power armoured based units, Terminators even as well. Send in these guys, let them hack their way through. And again, that's without the benefits of the Sanguinary attached to them. So ways to enhance them then is the Sanguinary, as I've said, with his abilities, which I'll cover in a video. To go with this, and then also a jump pack chaplain as well. Grant them all rerolls to hit, which would be very, very helpful for them indeed. But that is the Sanguinary Guard. I think 8 of them. They're going to plow into a unit, destroy it, and then have the durability. Yes, may you lose a couple, still they have that fighting potential. For example, if there was a unit of 5, I lost 3 of them, they're not very effective. But then if I have a unit of 8 and I lose 3 of them, we're still back to the old unit of 5, and there's still a lot of fighting potential in them. So they can lock horns with a lot of targets and do pretty well. So the D3 damage on those swords I think is pretty good. And then the best shooting combination I think for them is the Infernos guns. And then a bargain is the plasma pistols for sure, 7 points each, give them all plasma pistols. And that's even cheaper than the Angelus bolt guns. But there they are. A step in a direction. You know, I've been thinking about units. I've got, but basically for the Blood Angels, don't give too much away, I want 2 combat based units. And instead of buying other units, I had Assault Marines and so on, I want to enhance those 2 units and make them good. So it's the Terminators, I want them to do well, and then I want these to do well. So I'm trying to enhance and improve both of those 2 units. For these, it's a case of expanding them in size. I think should work very well indeed. But keep a lookout for them with the new size unit. Leave your comments and feedback, make your predictions. Do you think this new size unit will do better? Is it worth it? What combination would you go for? Do you have any battlefield experience against them? Or maybe you've had to face against them and seen firsthand how good or how bad Sanguinary Guard are. Leave your comments and feedback, suggestions, tactics as well, how they can be used in games. It's all good, and people watching this video can learn more tactics for the Sanguinary Guard. But there they are. Keep a lookout for more Blood Angels, Advanced Tactica and other factions as well on the Plus channel. Thanks for watching and tune in next time.